Hey guys, just setting up formation and looking to do some group arena with you guys. I feel like I haven't done a group arena PvP in a while, or really any videos in a while. It's been really difficult playing the game lately. It's been a bit frustrating trying to record. I don't know what happened with the new patch, but it just all of a sudden needed much higher system requirements or something. Like right now, I'm getting a lot of ghosts, so hopefully that clears up soon. But yeah, hoping to get some more videos out and figure out what's going on with my recording problems with the game lately. Really, these days, I mean, I used to be able to dual box tunes very easily, and now pretty much the only way I can play without lag is if it's I'm not recording and I only have one browser up. So a little bit frustrating. That said, always nice to have my gang here. We have ShockandAwe, my wife, who has been in plenty of these before. Ballwin, and then relatively new. I might have done, you know, a video or two with Scoon around, but Scoon is one of the, I think, the second biggest knight on my server, and a recent addition to kind of regularly playing with him. Alpha Prodigy, my good buddy, who has been in many of my videos, did quit the game for his own reasons. You know, he has a lot going on, but it is nice having Scoon here. He's a very easygoing guy. All your base. See here, I feel like I'm the boring one. I feel like it would be more interesting to watch from Shock's perspective sometimes. She's more in charge of, you know, some of the earlier heals, making sure that the chaoses are purified early on. Maybe I'll throw a chaos and see if I can get that Triton. Oh, I think Win already got the Triton, so I'm just gonna go. Lost my double hits here, see if I can get them back. No, it doesn't look like they kicked in. Sometimes you can kind of just spam one of the keys in group arena to get the double hits going. It's an odd one, but occasionally works. I think one of the problems here is definitely that my group probably has very, very low water resistance, and it looks like their strongest player had a water pet, which did some good damage. They were also just pretty strong. So I have a wind pet on, but if there are any wind pets come across, we might be in a bit of trouble. I have a dimension, but really dimensions have to be paired with crystals in your shields to really be that helpful. But lately I've been working on a light dimension, not really because I want to, but mostly because I don't have any dark dimensions, so I just sort of pick something. It's been really difficult for me to get any sort of dark dimensions, intermediate or basic, or, you know, preferably advanced. There's none in sight, so I have to pick other stuff that is not totally ideal. Really, if I could just work on electro, dark, and maybe a little bit of wind or light, I'd be perfectly happy, but the dark dimension gods do not love me. Looking pretty good here, hoping to get a couple top class wars type players out there. Last couple of days I've seen Lala's group, who beats us up really badly, so that might be fun. I'm not afraid to lose for the sake of YouTube. So we'll see. Alright, the ghosts are disappearing. These little gray ghosts are disappearing slightly more quickly now, but it's still not great. Also, this lag is not so good for how I like to go about things with Shock. You know, usually what I do at the beginning is keep an eye on Shock and see if she's chaosed, and if she is chaosed, then I'll use my ring to I'll press the E key, which will purify her, and then if the other two have chaoses on them, then that frees her up to purify them. But so far, good enough. That one group was a little bit tough, but looks like we're in good shape. Already in Diamond Group, and it's Thursday. There have been a lot of problems with the arena rankings and stuff. I haven't seen too much of that, or maybe I'm just really bad about paying attention. But I think as far as my server has gone, it was mostly a lot of issues with the Sylph Arena rewards and rankings for a while, and we also couldn't get into BG for a while. Just lots of cross-server problems. So at the very least, we can at least do stuff now without, everything freezing, which I guess is a really low bar, but it's the one I've set for now. Checky. So Shock's still in gold group, but she's pretty close. So the lower the number, the higher the rank. So she'll be able to make gold group by tomorrow. I mean diamond group by tomorrow. Actually, diamond group by Thursday is pretty early. Now that I think about it, usually you don't have diamond group until Friday, and then you have like one day where you get to get the diamond group rewards for all the fights. So it probably has something to do with all the rankings being messed up at some point. So I like this formation. It has the fewest corners possible as far as formations go, and I like for the knights to take more of the spread damage and have Shock and myself a little bit more protected on the edges. That said, it's not for everybody. I know once upon a time Shock found it a little bit frustrating because it's harder to see people's HP bars the way it is this way, having people one square adjacent. But as far as strategy goes, it's a little bit stronger. For most PvE things, though, I don't think it's really necessary to do anything but 4 corners. Tabaroni. Oh, a Kabam 1 team. We'll be facing a Kabam 35. I think one of the strongest Kabam guilds this coming Sunday, which should be exciting. They have a pretty strong knight there. Kilba, I think he might be the strongest knight on Kabam. I forget. He's definitely in TOK Nightmare. So we can tune in for that. We'll try and record, but recording crossover GB is very laggy and sometimes kind of boring if I'm just sitting at a tower or something. Got that BL in. For me here, I didn't Sylph and Rune, but oftentimes I'll go straight into a Rune. If I feel like the team is a little bit weaker and I don't want them to heal, then I'll throw a Chaos Rune. If we're up a very, very strong team, then I'll go with a Guardian Rune and hopefully block some of the attacks that are very strong early on. I think the strategy as far as rune timing and everything has a little bit more finesse in single PvP. Once you have a group PvP, there's so many players and it's a lot busier. I think the timing is more difficult. But that said, it's still very important. People still really like to go with that early chaos, which I think is reasonable. Usually I go for damage output, and right now, since I am lagging, I don't really like using a ton of runes, just because the value of a rune goes down tremendously if it takes a full turn. The whole reason why you have these runes and they're really fast is usually so that you can use them within, a skill and a rune within one turn. And so if I don't have flashing skills, actually right now my skills just conveniently started flashing for some reason. But yeah, if my skills... Why is the stun going for so long? If my skills aren't flashing, then when I'm lagging, it's much harder to get in a skill and a rune within the same turn. So here I will use one. Going into Sylph mode, I'll try and get this BL out, and then Sylph and get a Guardian rune. Maybe throw out an E to help Shock live a little bit longer. She just got a nice illusion though. Okay, so Guardian rune. I'm Chaos also, so it's probably better just to guard and E and heal myself up. Oh, I think that'll about do it. Still quite a close fight. Unless he gets some nice chaos on us here. But even so, I think we have the advantage. Maybe dawdled a little too much to get into my Sylph mode there. Not totally sure. I felt like I needed to get that heal in, and I was stunned for such a long time. So I think that was the major issue there. So with Hercules on, or with Gaia on, and I think with Athena on, and my main set of Sylph gear, I have broken 700k BR. With Medusa and my main set of Sylph gear, it's closer, well, with the card bonus I get to 700k, but it's a little under that. Once the Sylph equipment enchantment event comes out, I will complete that legendary set of Sylph equipment, which will be nice. I have a ton of gold right now, which I'm very pleased about. This Armor Games group again. These days I feel like orange sylphs are becoming more and more common. It's, people are very, very determined and, medium cashers. And are very diligent about their resistances and doing dimensions with some difficulty, or maybe even not too much difficulty. I've been able to get one orange sylph if that's really all they work at. Scoon is probably a medium to high cash. Well, actually, probably just not as much as myself, but still quite a bit of money into the game. And uh-oh, there's a chaos. Please don't let me kill my whole group. Oh, I hit them. Well, that's generous of Wartune. I thought I was gonna kill my entire group. But Scoon has his Hercules, and that's his only orange sylph. He does have a 5-star Gaia though, which I might encourage him to use in a situation like Titan Wars. I think on a daily basis it's not totally necessary for him to use Gaia in Group Arena, but it might be a better choice to go with a dark pet for a group situation. So I am really excited about Titan Wars. I enjoy Group Arena a lot, and Titan Wars is basically a similar setup to Class Wars, except with groups, and so obviously not separated by class. But I'm looking forward to it a lot. I think it'll bring a nice new spin. The group that I have here probably cannot make top 16. Top 16 will be chosen by BR, and win record, then no, BR then win record. If you're in the top 100, then they take the top 16 BRs. But that was a little convoluted. But yeah, I don't think this group is going to make top 16 in BR. I feel like there are a lot of groups who will take, the top, 4 of the top probably 6 or or 7 players on their server and run together and be able to get into the top. My guess is you probably need 4 players over 600 KBR. Well, maybe that's too much. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating everything. But there will be some really strong groups out there, and I think this is a strong group, but not, you know, insanity. I joke with Bwin that I think his BR and mine average together, well, it's much lower right now because he has Medusa on. And mine should be similar to Shock and Scoon's average BR if you paired them together. But I'm not totally sure. I do like to tease him about it. He's my good buddy. We've been playing together so long. I'm not gonna just like not play with him for Titan Wars, but he's well aware. There's a group that threw out a Mars very early, which I don't think is necessarily a great idea. I think a lot of the early stuff in group fights are AoEs. Like for myself, all I'm doing is just spamming AoE skills, and yeah, Scoon's using Whirlwind, and Shock I think probably has like Rain of Fire or something on also, but it's mostly doing heals. So you know, really there's not much that Mars is accomplishing by going out early. It's kind of a specific situation, but the best time for Mars is usually well, against archers it's not bad, since they seem to have a lot of single target stuff, but I think really where Mars is appropriate is if you're facing a team with a lot of like Hercules or yeah, I mean Hercules is the main single target pet. I think Cerberus, there is a lot of single target stuff, but the Delphic does have a chance at hitting twice, so I don't know. This person just called us cachers, which I think is sort of obvious, but well, Blin is not a big cacher, but the rest of us have put a decent chunk of money into this game. And I'm chaosed. I think Shock went for the AoE, which is fine, but that just means that we're both chaos. Ooh, yeah, well, poor Bwin. He gets beat up if I get chaosed, and it's not puried. So I'm just gonna use my E, get rid of Shock's chaos. I think she just, yeah, she just used her E. That's where my chaos went. So those wedding rings really are very helpful. Bwin is still married to Alpha's Tune, and they had a pretty low level ring anyway, so there's not much they could do to Puri, and Scoon is married to another player as well, so just Shock and I who can revive each other and Puri each other. Even so, just those two, especially to have that for the mages, is very, very helpful. Also Shock recently upgraded her ring to level 4, which is the level where you start to be able to revive your spouse once after they die, which is, I'm finding, incredibly annoying in Dragon Invasion. I understood it, and I always dealt with it on her tune, and now I'm much more sympathetic with how frustrated she would be sometimes about you know, having full awakening and then having the boss kill you, and then when you revive, not reviving with any of your awakening points back. So it's not always good, but it is very, very good in PvP. Here's Abraham, who I think is a pretty strong knight. Oh yeah. Where's my QTE? What's going on? Did it just not let me QTE? So I think what's gonna happen here, so I'm gonna Sylph, And instead of doing something like pressing on my skills or rune, I'm going to use E. Really, you can get your double hits going with any skills. Holy Seal or E also work. I used to see Abraham in BG quite a bit. Maybe not so much anymore, but might just be mismatch timing. Oh, the Titan got the bind on me. Bound for... Oh, that's a really long bind. I had no idea it was that long. I thought originally that bind was only like 1 turn. It's quite mean. There goes my intel pot. I think I put that on for Dragon Invasion and TOK. Actually, probably didn't need it, but it's like some sort of like a comfort potion, just in case. Well, I think I just took at least 2 of those chaoses, so that's one risk of having everybody lead with a chaos rune. Is there's a good chance that more than one of you will hit the same target. There's also a really awesome chance that you hit every single person on their team. But yeah, a little bit of risk there just because I absorbed a bunch of the chaoses. Even though it's harder to actually double hit in group arena, it's still really good to get your skills flashing, just so that you can do your runes in a timely fashion. But it's pretty difficult, I would say. Already, it's more difficult to get double hits in Sylph mode, and then you put that on top of having so many players involved. The timing with all of the turns is it's very hard to double hit until things start to wind down. It's very doable if it's just like, one person from each team left, but that doesn't happen too frequently. Water Knight, an interesting train name. I guess so is Hugo Stieglitz. It was an odd timing for an intercept. I think if you're going to bring intercept as a knight into these types of things, it's important to kind of anticipate when the mages are going to bring out their blessed lights. So if a bunch of your team is throwing out AoEs, and so you're dealing a lot of AoE damage, it's very likely that a mage will try and blessed light, and then you put out an intercept and try and get rid of it. Thank you. So little things to keep in mind. So I hope you guys enjoy. Not anything too crazy this time around, but at least a bit of fun. And I always love to do a little PvP. So hopefully I can get some stuff out soon. And I'm trying to collect a bunch of footage to help break down a double hits video. Really try and go step by step with everything on how to get double hits. So that's what I have planned. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care and have a very good day.